I just talked to some ladies about Izus being a slaveholder, and like I think that like when I say that, like people don't really get the society as much. Like there was a class system, and like slaves had two different classes, but like you could be a very wealthy slave, like you could be a very well-off slave, like the slave to the emperor probably like can be like the happiest person in the world, or like the slave to the emperor's friend maybe, because they were very important people sometimes. But Ali says some. By the way, Mu'min is mu'min, mu'min, which sounds more like Mormon. It's more like my name. But Ali in the Hadith here says, treat free men generously and with complete sincerity, and average people with interest and caution, and those who are low with simplicity. So like he's basically defining three different classes. He says here, shutting yourself away from your people earns you enmity, and opening yourself up to them attracts evil companions. So be between shutting yourself away and letting yourself go, for surely the best affairs is the one which is the most of the middle. Like Ali like teaches me like about being a ruler. He was an imam, like he was like the ruler over like the Arab world. He was the fourth imam after like Omar, Uthman, and then Ali, and then after that for the Sunnis it was Muawiyah. All right, so but Muawiyah wasn't actually an imam. Like there are only the four imams, and then there are the rulers of the Arab world, and they had different dynasties and stuff. So, anyways, but he says right here, he says, know that there are different classes of people under your protection. And each one cannot do well without the other, and each one cannot do without the others. Seek help in Allah in what causes you anxiety, and temper your severity with a degree of leniency, and act kindly to those who are most entitled to kind treatment, and deal severely. Okay, that's not going to help. Deal severely with people. I think like sometimes you really do have to deal severely with certain people, but like he's also like pretty clear, like you should behave with humility toward those who are under your protection, and give them your attention, and give your protection, and aid them selflessly in glances and looks, and in expressions and greetings, so that the mighty do not want to harm you, and the weak do not despair of your justice and of peace. Like I think that like when he says that, like you can have a ripple effect on by being an asshole to your slaves. And like that guy was living in a slave society, and like he like and it was just accepted, and like he thought that the way that he treated slaves mattered, because like he's saying like that the way you treat like those under your protection, which he's like a guardian is what he refers to it as. Like he doesn't refer to it as a rab. Like he likes saying they're like those are he's protecting, like they're like his people that he takes care of, because he like he said. So Izus or Ali here, who he was the writer of the Quran. Like I keep getting mixed up about who's talking, but Ali like was who physically wrote the Quran, and he was like a big slaveholder. He was the guardian of his people. Like I think a lot of the time when he talks about guardians, like he's talking about like people that guard over like a group of people. Like you could be like a governor. You could be like I supposedly you can be like a parent. You can have guardianship. But but he believes that the way that you treat the people that you're guarding like matters that much, and clearly Izus did too, and that's why like he had such like close slave friends and slaves that were under in his custody, that they cared about him so much that they fought the Order of Melchizedek, and they fought like a brutal war after Izus died over the torture of Izus. But like I said, like Ali here is talking about like being like a guardian of people and being like a leader of a country. And he says here, like, surely the most excellent thing that brings guardians delight are establishing justice in the country, because it's things, and seeing the love of those who are under their protection openly displayed. And surely their love will not be openly displayed unless their hearts are at peace, and their giving advice will be correct unless they have access to the guardians of their affairs and hardly feel oppressed by their rule at all. So when he says that there, like he's talking about like making sure that people have the ability to petition the government, as weird as it sounds. Like, because like he's saying like this is how you have to go meet with them. Don't let your guards be close by. Like, don't make sure they're not afraid of you. Like, make sure it's just like you and them. Like, make sure that you like they have a chance to talk to you. And he says right here, a nation in which the weak are unable to claim their rights from the strong without fear will not be blessed. Like, he really does believe that like we have a right to have our rights, like that we tell people that they have. And like, you don't want to like lie to people. You don't want to be a hypocrite. Like, you don't want to be the person that's against their own people, like while they're like censoring and like while they're like doing terrible things to their people. Like you want to be a trustworthy leader that allows people to have like the rights that you give them. So like, I think being a ruler is hard. Like, I think that like he talks about like, make sure that you're like generous enough with people. Like, you don't understand like that like when you're that, if you're that rich, like you got to figure out how to deal with people that are not as rich. Like, and like, I think that like, I had to have it click in my mind. Like, what if I'm so rich someday that like, I have to like constantly give people money always. And like, I have to be intentional about it. Like, I have to like make an effort to do it. And like, I think Ali would say like, you have to, like, you don't even get how much you like have to figure out how to like give people money, and you have to think about it. So I've been talking about like how Ali says to deal with slaves, especially, but like people under your guardianship, like people, like, because he does refer to like, there are three classes. He says there are free men, there are the average slaves, and then there are the low slaves. And so like, you don't like, I don't think I fully get what the low slaves mean, because like people didn't have, like, I'm pretty sure average slaves might not have known like written language and stuff like that. But one thing that Ali says is that like, there's one thing that will make you sad. It's trying to, it's being a rich person that only wants to get richer. Like, you never get poor, but you're like the richest person. Like, you're like a billionaire, but you never get poor. And and I think that generally, like, if you're a rich person, like, you should give away enough money that your money isn't going up too much. Like, which like, for a lot of people, it's like, what? No. We all get richer. That's like that's what we have to do, is we're all supposed to get richer. But like, I think that like, if you're a happy rich person, like, you might be someone that like doesn't see their money always go up because of the way that you give away money, and the way that you do business, and the way that you like create wealth, and the way that you like spread money. But like, a nation in which the weak are unable to claim their rights from the strong without fear will not be blessed. We're in a country where like, we're afraid to say stuff. Like, there's a reason that we're seeing Christmas trees everywhere and like bunnies and bears. Is because like, we're not allowed to say stuff. We're afraid to say things. And they're the ones that control all of our communications. Like, what's going on here? Like, we can't talk about the politicians. Like, I mean, come on. So, like, I think that like the rulers are not behaving with humility toward those who are under their protection, because like they're, I don't know, because they know they can get away with it, because they've got away with it for so long, because they know how locked down the media has been for that long. It's worked. And I think it's like getting very hard to lock down everything right now. This election is going to be a freaking nightmare. Like, you're going to see so few votes because none of the votes counted. Like, the majority of votes didn't even count. Because like, I think everyone needs to get out there and like tell people, like, we're all working on this campaign. That's my opinion. Like, if you're with me, like, you need to tell people, we need to get this campaign going. We need to make sure that we win, because we'll win that many states, and it's going to get very uncomfortable for the mafia when we win that many states and it was censored the entire time.